Hello, everyone. This is Zoe, straight from Orlando, originally from the Bronx. And I was really enjoying that video. I love hip hop. It's part of who I am. It's part of our history. As you all know, we have great artists in the Puerto Rican, great hip hop artists in the Puerto Rican community, in the Latino community. So I'm glad that I came on right after that video, and I'm hearing that that's Ray's brother, which is pretty dope. So congratulations to you. That was awesome. And it really set the tone for this next segment. Again, this is Zoe Colon. I'm one of your hosts today. I'm in Orlando, in the Central Florida area. Of course, this is the new little Puerto Rico, right? We know that with everything happening in Puerto Rico, the vast majority of folks that are leaving the island are coming into Central Florida. And so we are the new epicenter, and I am very proud to be, representing Puertorriqueño, Boricua de la Florida Central. And we have a very special lineup today for you. I just want to remind you that we are able today to support Colectivo ILE. We actually had a show with them earlier this week. They're doing wonderful work around racial justice issues, social justice issues in Puerto Rico, encouraging and urging people on the island to embrace our Blackness and our history, our African history, and to fight against injustices against people of color in Puerto Rico. So they're doing amazing work, and you're able to support them today using the link being shown on the screen right now. So glad again to be on Bomba Live. This is, a wonderful lineup of talent. We have people from all across the country and around the world, to tell you the truth. But we wanted to also take, time to highlight some of the issues in our community. As you know, it's been a tough, I would say, decade, if not longer, for Puerto Rico. But in particular, in the last 5 years, right, with the economic, with the fiscal crisis, with the Hurricane Maria, obviously, earthquakes, and now unemployment and lack of adequate response to how, COVID has impacted the island. So, it's been a tough 5 to 10 years for our people, but here we are, we're celebrating. But we want to talk about the Boricua vote, right? The importance of the Puerto Rican vote. And so we have some special guests today. Some pioneers and activist leaders from Central Florida. We have Revelles and Jimmy Torres-Velez. Thank you so much for being on the show today. I'm so excited to have you. When I first came to Orlando 5 years ago, you guys welcomed me with open arms, and I'm very lucky to work alongside such talented folks that really care about community and that really fight for our rights and really believe in doing right by our people. So thank you. And I just want to start. Yeah, Boricua Vota, that's right. That's what we're doing. That's the work. That's what we're doing in Central Florida. And so I just wanted to start by asking Maria, if you could just introduce yourself, tell us a little bit about yourself and your work in Florida.
Bueno, my name is Maria Revelles. I'm the director of Vamos for Puerto Rico. Vamos for Puerto Rico is an organization that educates, organizes, and get out the vote of the Puerto Rican community, and also advocates for Puerto Ricans in different issues. I've been here in Florida now in my last trip to Florida for the last 2 years in 2018, where I work with a great coalition of other members in the big campaign to engage displaced Puerto Ricans from Hurricane Maria and get some justice for them, and also the rights restoration for voters in Puerto Rico, for returning citizens here in Florida. And now here we are, 2020, trying to talk to everyone, having those conversations about the new challenges of voting post-COVID, and basically really building a network of Puerto Rican organizations and Puerto Rican in the community, so they understand that Florida is home right now. We can be and do our civic duty here in Florida, and also advocate and work for what we want back at the island.
Thank you, Maria. If we can also have Jimmy introduce himself and start the conversation. Jimmy, tell us what you do in Central Florida. Why you Boricua Vota?
Well, my name is Jimmy Torres, and I am from Bayamón, Puerto Rico, Campo Alegre, actually. I grew up in Bayamon, learned the tricks of mobilizing, creating enthusiasm around about organizing and about voting. So, like 6 years ago, when I came to Florida, I decided to create with a friend of mine, Rafael Benitez, Boricua Vota, and since then we have been trying to include, not just to create, but to include music, colors, strategies that we use in Puerto Rico to be able to mobilize our organization. So this is what we do. We bomba plena and caravanas and this kind of thing that are like really amazing, and the people love to do it. You know, the when people ask me about it, I said, look, this is things that people can do. They're not gonna charge you to do for doing it, and it's easy to participate. Then it's a very different story to go knocking doors and phone banking. So a different type of skills are needed to do all those other works that are very important. But this work of creating enthusiasm is also very, very important. So if you see what you do, this Bomba Life is full of music.
Yeah.
Integrating different kind of music, salsa for olders like me, and hip hop for new people. So we need to bring them together around an issue. And I love to see that Ray have been able to bring people from Houston, from New York, from Connecticut. And that's what we need to do. We need to create a conversation among Puerto Ricans and among Latinos. Thank you.
Yo he ido con Boricua Vota a llevar los pleneros in Florida Technical College, which caters to, it's a lot of newly arrived puertorriqueños ahí. Yeah. Y nosotros llevamos los pleneros hablando de la importancia del voto, right? Speaking on the importance of that vote, and people, it's that nostalgia, right? That you speak of, Jimmy, right? That when people hear their music, it reminds them of family, of our culture. Se me paran los pelos. Were getting in their classrooms, and they were very enthusiastic to hear that part of our heritage being celebrated and then tied to getting out the vote. So tell me more about the kind of work that you both do in Central Florida to get out the Puerto Rican vote, and why is this an important corridor?
Mira, people call the Central Florida the I-4 corridor. When they talk about the I-4 corridor, starts now in Hillsborough, Pinellas. Now, like, the I-4 corridor gets longer all the time, and it goes by Seminole, Volusia, Orlando, Kissimmee, and now it ends up in Polk, because all that part of Davenport, Poinciana, and all of that is so full of Puerto Ricans, and we love it. I think there's two sides of it. No doubt that the part that Jimmy does regarding the cultural part, voting is more than a civic duty. It's like a holiday in Puerto. It's actually an official holiday in Puerto Rico. So organizations like us, like Jimmy, like myself, we create that Puerto Rican voting day experience for people that recently moved in Puerto Rico. They feel right at home, they feel comfortable. But with that, there also has to be a piece that is education, conversations, us being in podcasts like this, having conversations with this about what do you need to vote in Florida, what is important that
de Puerto Rico puede votar. As soon as Puerto Ricans come over to the stateside, they can vote, right?
They can just vote. They just need to register and they are able to vote here. That's it. But people have questions about amendments in the ballots, and here you vote for school boards, for judges, and all of that. So community organizations like mine, that we want to get that Puerto Rican vote out. We want to have an educated vote, and we want to make this community comfortable and right at home and ready to make the best decisions that is going to impact with their vote better our community here in Central Florida and our family back in Puerto Rico.
Also, the cultural aspect, but also just the naming, right? Ownership, right? So vamos por Puerto Rico y Boricua Vota, those in Spanish, speaking directly to the people of Puerto Rico or the diaspora, depending on where you are. So I know, Jimmy, you've expanded, your brand is national. So tell us some about what you've been doing in other states or what your plans are and why it's important to grow this brand.
Well, first, that's why when I started, I said, I am Jimmy Torres from Campo Alegre, Bayamón, because there's a push always to get us in bigger groups. And in those bigger groups, sometimes our flavor is lost. Mm-hmm. Like the other Ray Collazo's program, Lost in Translation. So sometimes our issues got lost in translation, but also in the agenda. So the agenda of others are more important sometimes. And then what happened is that we are now 8 million Puerto Ricans in the world. 5.2 of them lives in the United States. And we can, if we organize our voters, if we organize our communities, we can do a lot of good things for our islands, our hometowns, but also for the people in Mexico and for the people in Colombia and for the people in Venezuela and Ecuador, because when we elect the right people are going to do the right thing for immigration. They're going to do the right thing for LGBTQR. You know, those are the things that unite us, but you're not going to call Miss Doña Juanita that just got here from Barranquitas to vote with a flag that they don't know, that they don't recognize. It's not theirs. They're not Hispanic. Right. Becoming Hispanic, becoming Latino takes you a longer time.
I agree. I mean, I'm a New Yorker, and I had to learn a lot about the differences between my experience growing up, you know, in New York. Yeah, on a day like today, you know, when the Puerto Rican Day Parade, you know, uno se levanta temprano, uno hace los sandwichitos de mezcla, coge todo lo que tiene que uno tiene propiedad que tiene la bandera. You take the train into the city and you come across millions and millions of other Puerto Ricans, many of whom had never lived on the island, right? And so that was my experience, and I was super proud. And you can't question a Puerto Rican from the Bronx, right? But then when you get to an Orlando and you meet people that have all their lives obviously lived on the island, the politics are different. The common language, everything is different. The experiences are very different politically, socially, everything. And
I think so that something that is very important for organizations like Jimmy and myself is remind those that had the Puerto Rican born in the diaspora children like you and us that were born in the island. I'm from Carolina, Puerto Rico, and then I live in Loíza, Puerto Rico. That's exactly. Right. How are we at the end of the day? The Puerto Rican interests are one. That's yes, right. We are going to be in solidarity with all our brothers and sisters, African American, LGBTQ plus communities, women issues, immigration issues. But we have a core of Puerto Rican issues like the debt, the cancellation of the debt, the Jones Act, issues that are the core, even the citizenship, the status of the land that are core to our Puerto Rican experience that we need to get educated, having conversations and really mobilizing our community in those issues.
And let me, Zoe. Mm-hmm. I just don't want to lose this opportunity of talking to a lot of people in many states to tell you that if you want to bring Boricua Vota, this is a campaign. I make no money out of this. I just want people to be able to do a campaign behind a commissioner, behind somebody that's running for the House or representative and wants to mobilize the Puerto Rican votes to use our flag, to use our team. But then we need to have a conversation about what is that you think about Puerto Ricans? What you think about our issue? And it's not just one issue, the issue of the status. There's many things that are unite Puerto Ricans. For example, So we're bringing people from Puerto Rico. They don't know how to use computers because there's no Wi-Fi in Puerto Rico. The reality is that people have no experience on doing interviews. And there's a lot of people that can do that, but we need to talk to our elected leaders about those issues that are important for Puerto Rican just coming, and as well as what Maria mentioned. So if you are out there, please look for Boricua Vota, look for Red de Acción Boricua, and let me help you. And I would like to extend our arms around you. Thank you very much.
Jimmy and Maria, yes, I want to just reiterate the importance of working in coalitions, but also we have very specific issues in the Puerto Rican community. As I mentioned earlier, natural disasters, the economy in Puerto Rico, and we are 1 million strong in Florida. For the first time, there are more Puerto Ricans in Florida than in New York for the first time, I think, as of 2 years ago. So the vote is important everywhere, but in Florida, eyes are always on us. And so thank you for the work that you do. Boricua Vota, Home for Puerto Rico, Alianza for Progress, Hispanic Federation. There's so many others that weren't able to join us today. But thank you for being with us and highlighting everything that you do in the community and the importance of the Puerto Rican vote. So I appreciate your time and good luck en la caravana.
Tú te la pasas diciendo que tú no vas a votar después de los resultados. No te vengas a quejar. Boricua vota.
Vamos a votar. Sí se puede.
Sí se puede. Thank you so much.
Gracias, Rey. Adiós.
Bye. Bye, Jimmy.